Welcome back to day 3 of VALORANT Champions. I hope you guys had a nice break because we are just getting started. I'm your host Yingsu and I got Mimi and Psycho here back with me for a long awaited rematch between FNATIC and ZETA, although Mimi, under very different circumstances this time.
Yeah, way back when at Reykjavik, it was a huge upset when ZETA beat FNATIC, but a lot has changed since then. FNATIC has won both the tournaments this year. They're on track to build themselves an era and possibly clean sweep through at Champions. And ZETA have struggled. This is the first event since lock, and they're making an international appearance.
That's right. I mean, they missed out on the home Masters event at Tokyo. That had to be a huge letdown for them, and I'm sure they're coming in here with a vengeance. It's been so long since these teams have matched up, but since then, FNATIC have established themselves as this powerhouse of VCT globally throughout the year.
I mean, let's talk about ZETA because they've made their way here through LCQ. Again, one of the teams I don't think many people expected, Mimi, to make a run like this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were expecting someone like Team Secret to win in Pacific, but ZETA honestly had a really clean run throughout. I think they played to a lot of the stuff that used to work well for them. These really slow attack side defaults where they pick apart their opponents, but I think they also threw in some new stuff. They're running a lot of these Rays, Neon comps, starting to innovate and change up their style a little bit to great effect in that LCQ.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. They're obviously mixing it up. They're watching what's working for other teams, and they're trying to figure out how can we apply this to us and apply our strengths and put our own little twist on it. And I think that they're in a great position to make a good run in this tournament.
Yeah, and it's so big to see ZETA back at an international event because obviously they've made history in the past. They were the miracle run of Reykjavik last year, but they haven't made a roster change since then. They are the longest standing single roster that we have here in Champions. So to see them really stick together across so many different metas and make it again to an international event, I'm sure it's a big moment for them and for the Japanese fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and of course, under the leadership of Laz as well, I feel like the star player of that team. What do you make of the Chamber? Because I feel like ever since he brought it back and had a lot of success with it, a lot of other people have followed suit.
They sure have, and I think that we had an inkling that Chamber might be coming back, and you know, obviously the teams that were doing well this year didn't have as much incentive to experiment with Chamber, but you see a team like ZETA who missed out on Masters. They're looking for what can we add? What can we give ourselves to give us that edge over these other teams? And Laz has really cemented himself as, you know, dangerous on this Chamber agent, and I would be paranoid about contacting corners with this guy in the server right now.
One of the reasons I think ZETA had the fall off that they did was because of the meta shift. They were great under Chamber meta when Laz was harvesting in every tournament he was playing. And it's been a long time since he's been able to play that agent. He was stuck in the Killjoy Cypher jail that so many other players had to transition over to. But now he's back in his comfort, calling for this team, and they look back in form.
Yeah, and is that, you feel like, the correct approach as well to stick with that Chamber against FNATIC today?
I would lean into it for sure. I think that they need something that's going to give them some bite against FNATIC. FNATIC are coming in as the clear favorites. You know, they know what they're doing. They've got their chemistry down. They've got their playbook down. You know, they're ready to go. ZETA are the ones who have the onus on them to take control and actually bring home this win. So I would lean into the Chamber and anything else that they think they have up their sleeve to take these guys out early and make a statement early in the tournament that we are here to play and we're contenders.
I mean, we've seen one upset already today. Who knows? Who knows? And speaking of Laz, Doug caught up with him outside.
Laz, quick question for you. You're back on the international stage. How do you feel individually heading into the tournament?
世界大会に戻ってきて、今のチームのコンディションはいかがですか？
コンディションはいいですね。で、このインターナショナルの舞台に勝ってこれたことをすごく嬉しく思ってます。試合が楽しみです。
We're just very happy to be back on this international stage, and our conditions are very good. So very excited for the match.
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
I think this is the theme, right, ZETA? They're just happy to make another international tournament, but their opponent, the expectations is completely different. Because Mimi, some have even said if FNATIC don't get the triple, the 3 for 3, then it is not an era. The dynasty doesn't count.
I think it's fair to say that we're at the beginning of an era. It's dawning right now. If they win Champions, no one can dispute the fact that this is FNATIC's era. No one's ever won back-to-back before, and winning the three-peat, making that run continue continue at Champions would be such a moment for this Fnatic team that has been working so hard for a trophy to establish an era like this since the very beginning of Valorant.
Absolutely, and as someone who's coached the team, you know, I know what it's like when you set out at the beginning of the year, you put your roster together, all sights are on Champions. Masters, you know, winning VTT, winning Master, these are steps along the way to get you that experience and to give you that confidence to go into Champions and bring it home. So this is where it all ends. This is what everything leads to. You know, there's always going to be those doubts if they don't take this tournament home. But I think that they have the firepower, they have the chemistry, they have the playbook. They can really cement themselves and say that this year is the Fnatic year.
And every tournament you win, every moment you spend on top, it gets harder and harder to maintain that position. We've heard from so many different teams who have won tournaments how hard it is to repeat because everyone looks at you, everyone is studying you, stealing your ideas, and you're forced to really adapt, reinvent yourself, show something new in every tournament to be able to stay on top. It's such a difficult task, but Fnatic has already done it once.
Yeah, they became kind of the record breakers, right? The history makers. We've heard from Laz on the side of Zeta, but let's hear from Durka from Fnatic. Over to you, Doug.
Durka, if I may, a very quick question for you, sir. Given that
New Jeans Super Shy.
Thanks, Durka, for giving me the opportunity to bust out a choreo on the desk. I've always wanted to do it, but that was New Jeans Super Shy. What a giga chat, and I feel like there's a theme, right, Psycho, with this team. Every single player seems to have a bit of a giga chat or cold moment in them.
Oh, they absolutely do, and I think that's the scariest thing about going up against this team. There's no clear, defined start. This is a true super team. Every player on this roster is one of the best in their roles, and anybody at any given time can take over the game.
It's insane. And they haven't even changed a comp yet this year, right? This is a team who we're always talking about them pulling out new stuff, changing up their style throughout, but they haven't even had to adjust their compositions in a big way. That's just how good they are at perfecting the little details. And honestly, when you're on top like that, you have moments to have fun and have that swagger.
Yeah, I mean, same comment, also no Pearl either. Here we have a tweet from Boaster who tweeted, if anyone finds the ability to go back 2 years in time, then feel free to anti-strap me. And Psycho, I saw you reply to this tweet because if you guys zoom in on this tweet at home, at some point you'll see that some of those strats that he's talking about came from your team back in the days.
That's right. I mean, we went up against Fnatic at Champions last year in the playoffs, and we're able to take them out. So, you know, I think definitely Boaster pulled a couple plays that he liked from what we ran against him and added it to his playbook. And hey, that's what teams do, right? And you usually name the team or name the play after the team you stole it for as like a sort of homage, right, to them. So, you know, Energy runs this play against you. You know, you really like it. You add it to your playbook, and you're like, okay, guys, we're going to run the Energy this round.
I guess my follow-up to that would be, how deep do you think Fnatic's strat book really is? Because like Mimi said, they haven't changed any comps. So at what point do you feel like they're going to run dry and teams are starting to be able to anti-strat them a bit better?
Well, I think they're just so far ahead. I mean, we've seen this year how dominant teams are who have managed to keep a core together. It's something that's been talked about a lot this year. You know, the teams that have been able to keep 3 or 4 players and just make minor adjustments and keep their IGL and keep their playbook, keep their coach, you know, these teams are dominating, and they are so far ahead of these other teams that their playbook just continues to get deeper and deeper as these other teams struggle to try and catch up. And I think that's where they're at right now. We're about to see in this tournament, have other teams adapted enough? Have they learned quickly enough to catch up to where Fnatic is in their dominant position?
Yeah, and they've spent a lot of time building out this strat book and adapting. The first ever global tournament, Fnatic was there, second place. They played a completely different style than what they're playing today. So I'm sure you can speak to this, but Boaster, as the IGL of this team, has been through it all in adding new ideas, in adapting, and putting in that effort, that work to make it to the position he and his team are now, and to the position on top with really being the team defining the strategy for so many teams in Valorant.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they're going to bring out today. And with that in mind, let's take a look at the map selection and see where we're going to be headed today.
All right, let's get started. Congrats to both of you for Champs, another event for the 2 of you. Let's jump in. Fnatic, you are the higher seed. Team A or Team B?
Team B.
Team B. So Zeta, you will be Team A, and we'll start with your first ban.
Team A. Bind.
Bind. Your ban.
Pearl.
Pearl. Map number 1, your pick.
Pick Fracture.
Pick Fracture. Side on Fracture.
What do you want? I think attack. We'll go attack.
Attack. Okay. Map number 2.
Haven.
Haven. Side on Haven.
Defender.
Defense. Okay. We're going to go the next set of bands, starting with Zeta. You have Ascent, Lotus, and Pearl.
アセントかロータスかアセント、ロータス
Sorry, Split.
アセント、ロータス
Ascent, Lotus, and Split. Yeah.
Ban Ascent.
They ban Ascent. You have Lotus and Split.
Ban Split.
Ban Split. So map number 3 will be Lotus. Side on Lotus.
Attack.
Attack. Okay, I'm going to run through this, make sure we are all set. First set of bans, we have Zeta with Bind, FNATIC with Pearl. Map number 1 is Fracture with FNATIC on attack. Map number 2 is Haven with Zeta on defense. Next set of bans are Ascent and Split. Map number 3, Decider, is Lotus with Zeta on attack. Good. All right, good luck to you both.
Good luck. Good luck.
ZETA division. FNATIC.
Tokyo, but what a statement it will be to take down the team that lifted a trophy in their home country right here, right now. We've seen an upset already today, Mimi. I don't think it will be, it's not going to be impossible, let's put it that way, for Zeta to take them down.
It's not impossible because we've seen it before. More than a year ago, Zeta took the stage in Reykjavik against FNATIC. They beat them there, went on a run to go top 3, had the breakout performance for Japan at an international event, and they've been trying to recoup that same kind of run ever since. Now they have a chance here to get revenge on FNATIC for not only lifting that trophy, but also to repeat history.
Yeah, and let's talk about the map vetoes real quick, because Fracture, Haven, Lotus. If you're a FNATIC fan, Psycho, looking at that, you got to be feeling pretty comfortable and happy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, FNATIC definitely have a map pool, and it's essentially these maps. I mean, I'm sure going into this, Zeta must be confident on these maps to pick them into FNATIC, and they must have some sort of game plan cooked up.
I think they only had to show 4 maps at Tokyo for FNATIC. They were dominant in that event. And now the question is, has FNATIC reinvented themselves at all? Have they changed any compositions with that time since Tokyo? Because constantly having new things, surprising teams, can be the key to staying on top when you already are that team everyone's watching.
Let's not forget, in Tokyo, they were losing to EG on this map, Psycho. That was one of the places where FNATIC just couldn't find an answer for. So we would like to think that they might have changed something between Tokyo and here.
Absolutely. I mean, they've had some time. You know, they're definitely at home scrimming these other teams, getting prepared for this. They come to Champions, they're scrimming these teams in LA, getting ready. I'm sure they have something cooked up, and they know that this is their moment. If they want to take this championship home and take home the three-peat, they need to set this tone right now.
Well, if you take a look at the Prime Gaming Agent Select, if you can't beat the Mimi, why not join them? It is the Sova coming in.
And we have not seen Leo on Sova in so long. It was always his best agent. He's excellent here. And taking a page out of EG's book, I love it. FNATIC is the team who I think really started the trend, who EG was influenced by in putting an emphasis on farming your ultimate orbs and always having an idea of how to combo ultimates. And now taking some of that back from EG, who had initially drawn inspiration from them, is kind of a cool to see it go full circle for FNATIC.
Absolutely, and not every team has been able to pull off the Sova. I mean, we've seen teams try and fail, but FNATIC are definitely the team to do it. Leo is just absolutely incredible on this. As you said, they kind of crafted this initial idea, and I'm excited to see what else they've cooked up and added to this, because we talked about earlier adding layers to their existing playbook. How deep does this go? What new things are we going to see with this Sova?
On the side of ZETA, they're going back to this double duelist comp with the Chamber. This is the new version of ZETA. This isn't that squad that was slow on every single attack that we saw way back when they were at global events. We'll have to see if it's enough for ZETA to find an upset again.
Well, it's the first time this year FNATIC has changed their comp. Valorant fans, get ready to be entertained, because we have two of the best in the business with us to take you through this series. Give it up to Doug and Bala.
Thank you so much, Jinsu. Bala, there is something in the air today, and you can't help but feel like it's really throughout the entire tournament. We just came off of a crazy upset. I mean, this would shatter expectations, though.
You're suggesting a lot, right? This is the best team in the world, hands down.
Yeah.
So I am very much looking forward to see what kind of shape ZETA can show on a stage, which they haven't graced our presence with for so long. It's been a long time since lock-in. It's been a long time since that miracle run, way back when they beat FNATIC back at Reykjavik in 2022.
While also winning over the hearts of literally everyone. And that's why, you know, there are so many people that are excited to see them back on the stage, but this is quite the foe you're facing against first, and Depp is already, oh my. Well, it certainly could have been more troublesome. It could have been a lot more damage than it was.
That could have been horrible.
Yep.
But instead, Depp gets such a deep position, and he clears the south side almost entirely. So right now, they have a great idea of what's going on. And I'm surprised to not see anybody from ZETA moving right now. They should have known it was A side a long time ago there.
They are a bit more cautious and a bit more concerned with this, aren't they? Chronicle's getting the spike down. You see FNATIC still have some control, some positioning over towards Dish. Courtesy of Durka, they have a really good setup here.
Despite the long rotate and the very late one, they get some really good post-plant positions to actually retake here from. So both sides entrenched at this point.
Boaster's going to have to be one of the first to be dealt with, and yeah, they don't even check him. He was still down under hell, and I mean, FNATIC have just wiped the floor with ZETA in this round.
You really expected a little bit more there from ZETA after all the time that they took to set up in that. But it's two corners they don't check, just two corners. And despite maybe a good opening strategy, they would have potentially just found Alfier by himself when Depp dove past him in that one.
Yeah.
Despite all that, nothing for them. So that speaks to potentially what we might see here. Some nerves, some discipline not checked up right now. And what the desk was talking about a lot, how slow ZETA play.
I have the spike.
Is completely flipped on its head in the first round.
Marshall in the hands of Boaster, and he's already finding value with it.
I mean, this is a classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every single round on Fracture. Attack side after the pistol round win, which comes quite frequently for this team. Boaster with that Marshall farming as many orbs as he can.
Hey, he's already gotten a considerable amount. He's already more than halfway. Boaster get the ace, baby. The crowd's going to go wild. Oh, no!
I mean, 2 aces in the end, Saiko would have been crazy today.
Yeah, that would have been nuts. I mean, he gave it a run, and he was close. Just not able to connect, though. Ultimately, FNATIC walk away with the win on the round. They keep 3 rifles. Boaster's very close to having his orbital strike online. It wasn't as flashy as we would have liked, but it gets the job done.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, considering how the rest of the round played out, Boaster was just holding for these. I mean, I was talking about how he usually farms orbs, but instead he's holding for the kills. Alfier was the guy holding the orbs. Is that Boaster or is that Kong Kong? I can't tell.
He looked the same, didn't he?
Now this swap for FNATIC off of the fade onto the Sova. It's going to be really interesting to see in these next couple of attempts. They had so many opportunities to face off against this composition that they know how you can counter it. But such a wild comp from ZETA. Almost nobody playing this Paper X EDG style comp. One thing that I've noticed FNATIC being so good at on all maps is moments like these where, you know, you're in the bonus round, you're trying to get some information. They're so good at freezing and just allowing some time to elapse so that they can let their thoughts actually settle here. And it always allows them to have such good calls after this. One of the reasons why Boaster has really stepped up in terms of reputation for his IGLing ability this year.
We'll see if he's able to do anything with what you were just referring to, trying to be able to settle on the round, get any information that he can, and then work around it. Laz looks to be the first to contact here. FNATIC want to burst towards B. Remember, we don't see Chamber very much, and we're not going to see him anymore this round either.
And Chronicle taking that first contact too. Just ridiculous.
30 seconds left.
There were so many people that were excited for this Chamber pick, for Laz on that Chamber pick in particular. But a brutal start. Meanwhile, FNATIC going to continue to pounce forward and trample. Boaster falls, though. Yeah. There are a lot of guns on the other side of this, so Durka with two big ones.
They can't get to this yet. Alfir has to be the guy to deny Deb. He has to go through.
Be quick. He's got to be quick. It's gotten to half. That's a bonus for FNATIC. Huge play from Alfir.
The other two players there, Leo and Chronicle, were both either a body way in front of them, controlling their space, or just completely mollied off, so they couldn't do anything either. But bonus conversion, this is the scary part about FNATIC, man. You let them get started, and it takes so long to chip back at that lead. Thankfully here, ZETA, Depp with the amount of flanking he's been doing, does have his overdrive online, so they can go for something crazy. And looks like they're setting up for a dish push. But look, Durka and Leo are going to use some of their util here to actually just completely deny this.
And Depp does not seem to care, but Durka and Leo both handle it well. A little bit of damage done as 10 was there too. The orbital strike used, but Chronicle receiving the pressure on the other side.
A very risky peek there as well from Chronicle on the last player of 10. Oh, Alfir is in their spawn. Should have heard them there.
Spike planted.
And now with the plant, it's wide open as well for Alfir, no matter what.
He was out of range of the turret. So that did not get him any info. 10 has crept his way up, and the only question is Chronicle aware? Does he know?
Oh, the jiggle peek just missed him.
Just barely. I mean, we're talking about seconds, but Alfir swings out at just the right time to get FNATIC 4.
Now that crossfire ends up being pretty brutal there for Chronicle and Alfir. And I love Alfir missed the jiggle, sure, but then he gets into an off angle to get the next peek on it. So his timing works out really nicely no matter what. And check this out from Boaster as well, ulting off this push from Arcade so that this isn't a pinch coming in from ZETA. Really nice adaptations there on the fly to deal with that aggression, but maybe a little bit readable there from ZETA, given how Depp has been playing so far, how he's been constantly going for flanks, and how that was the only tool in that round.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Because of the success FNATIC have had, they find themselves up 4 with 3 ults in this round. Leo halfway to his too.
Yeah, but some control here. Are they really just reacting into A after all that?
And Laz is by himself, but he is playing from a safe position. He can get away.
Has the op too.
Just a second late, man.
You were talking about expectations from Laz on the chamber. And I was waiting for the op to come online.
Uh-oh, Showstopper's out. 10 finds nothing, but it's Durka who gets the kill. They've got the Rolling Thunder too, they have everything.
And if they needed to, Alfir's lockdown. No response from Sugar Zero on that Brimstone. Doesn't have the ult to cancel that out. They're falling way back though. Look, there's 3 players at the back of halls. Once they open this door, they're gonna be surprised to see it's Alfir there. They're like, okay, that's normal. There's gonna be a crossfire at the top, but there's 3 players waiting there.
Yeah, there's no way you expect that much. So you've got to deal with what's in front of you. That's Durka, and then you have to deal with the flank from behind. Alfir gets another. You see the molly coming through from Boaster, who was one of the members off site, and they're just going to go hunting. 2 members here in spawn. They're trying to get the op out of the hands of ZETA, and they do.
Wow. FNATIC checking all the boxes right now. And ZETA, unfortunately, at this point, you really need to start looking to get that AWP back online for Laz. And you need to start some, I mean, nice dodge there from Durka. It's funny, we were talking a lot about Leo not playing any Sova up to this point, finally, since Tokyo. But Durka's still not playing any Jet. And you can see, I mean, he's just so comfortable on that Raze. One of the rare duelist players who can play both the Jet and the Raze.
That's such a high level, man. Such a high level. You think about their Tokyo run, never touched Jet. Starts off champs, doesn't touch Jet yet. And if he's going to keep putting up performances like this, there's really no reason to deviate from the plan.
Yeah, he's been teasing it a lot. And no matter how this map goes, I'm assuming we're going to see it on Haven as map 2.
Yeah.
But right now, ZETA, their first time out. And they've got to come up with solutions. The thing is, they've been so aggressive on actually trying to set up these plays up in halls, A main. That's been the majority of the gun rounds so far. But FNATIC are so comfortable to just wait it out, figure out where that setup is, whether it's implicit information that they're getting from the rest of the map, or that they're seeing it head on, like that north side pinch that we saw. And it's not even gambles that FNATIC are taking against it. It's super, super safe. Look, never a single player on one half of the map.
And the half that you're mentioning right now, the northern side completely empty, and you see ZETA set up on the mini-map, either expecting pressure from the side, from that side towards Dish, or wanting to apply a bit of their own. But nothing found.
It's so fluid there. Durka's boombot is intended to spot, okay, is there anybody pushing tree? And if there is, they're going to go for a crazy fast trap with Chronicle's stun. Now this allows them to slow things down, really re-clear everything you can, get the space potentially for Alfier's ults, but on an anti-eco, yeah, he's going to invest it anyways. And you notice the thing that they did in the last post plant, right? They were all three holding the molly. Here there's, again, a lot of emphasis on holding this lockdown. Only one player getting on site here, Durka with the dash.
Boaster's here by himself, and you've got Leo close by, but not again. Once again, just one. There's a second layer to this, though. You see, you think you've dealt with the first trap, sure, but there's another. This one's Leo. The stun, you imagine the push is going to be coming anytime soon. Depp trying to find some space, and he's certainly not quiet about it. He was ready for it this time. At least wise to it, but kill's still not going his way.
Nice. Good from Durka. Here's any movement there. Already sees that smoke, knows he's going to try to creep into it.
Last left alone. It's just a tap, it's just a threat, and it's another round for FNATIC. Bala, you know, we talked so much about their run at Tokyo and how it really felt like they were playing perfect Valorant, or as close to it as you could get. I know it's only been 6 rounds, but this doesn't feel any different.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think for me though, I'm looking at the side of ZETA and I'm thinking out of that timeout, you know, what are they talking about? What do we see evidence of them talking about? I think they focus a little bit more on the strategic side there and not on calming people down, because once again we see a corner go unchecked.
Yep. Is that 3 now?
That's 3.
Yeah.
Against FNATIC, those are the types of mistakes they're going to punish you every time on.
The lights shine just a little bit brighter on the world's biggest stage, and with that comes the exposing of mistakes, of critical lapses of judgment.
Wow, this execute is so brutal.
That's another kill. I mean, it's an opener for Boaster. Depp's able to buy a little bit of time, but not much. Not enough for it to be significant.
He had no space there to play. There was a molly, there was a fault line coming through, there was another dart as well from Leo. I mean, this is why this composition is so strong. And they're not even punishing.
Well, no.
The molly might get him.
Yeah.
Oh, Spike's not planted.
Yeah, he hadn't committed. He wasn't really able to get enough breathing room, and the barrage of utility keeps him back. But FNATIC, as is typical, slow things down.
And this is with 50 seconds. Normally not executing this early. So still a lot of room for them to work.
Yeah, you can wait for Leo's dart to come back up, which just popped. You've got Chronicle's fault line that's going to come up shortly as well, right on cue. And with that, you imagine they combine them, they find a little bit of space to at least recover the spike. Not able to get a kill off of it, though.
There's no more util here to actually deny this plant anymore from ZETA.
They've weathered some of the early aggression from the defense, but can they do more? See that aftershock through. Chronicle has fallen. It's just Alfier and Leo now. 1 nano to buy some space, to buy some time, to to provide some cover as Orbital Strike segments him off even more. An aggressive satchel in from 10 as Crow gets 2 and the defuse comes through.
Really nice stuff. That's that patience that is so synonymous with ZETA. When they really recoup, when they really understand, okay, here's the couple of extra tools we have, the Aftershock and that Orbital Strike. I misspoke. I thought they used their Aftershock at this point already. And with that Aftershock getting the kill on the planter, that's how he has that Orbital Strike. So it's like all the win conditions there, they put them in their mind and they completely executed on them. Well done from ZETA. That finally gets them on the board. I'm wondering now if we're going to see sort of the same resurgence that we saw from a team like we just saw in that first game where it looked super flat from Billy. And then all of a sudden they came out swinging. All of a sudden they got energy.
Yeah, they did. ZETA finally on the board though.
Laz was talking a lot about that. About what they learned from their LCQ run was, and watching Tokyo in person, was seeing, you know, players like Kankan, players like Bustio show and leave the emotion on the stage rather than reserving it back. Are they going to be able to find that momentum to bring that emotion out?
You've got Crow's got his Rolling Thunder. He's close by. But again, this quiet approach from FNATIC early on. I mean, it's a stalemate. No one daring make a sound. You imagine if there's attack from the drone, Durka's going to want to go.
Look at this path.
Showstopper.
Oh, kind of messed up the second satchel there.
It did not give him enough go.
He's not clearing his corners.
That's a cleared corner. Or the lack thereof. Yep, Depp cleans him up.
And missed Aftershock Molly combo too.
Spike still committed though. The Rolling Thunder goes just a bit wide as 10. And Crow go untouched. Alpha looking to pounce in tower. And no, he can't.
Watching here.
It's just Leo by himself now, and he's just got to sit back and watch. I mean, a 1v4, a couple members weak, but there's just not enough for that.
2 rounds now in a row for ZETA. And that perfect Valorant from FNATIC starts to show some cracks. A missed combination up in tower allows space for Depp to play a little bit longer. And then once again, this A hit, or this B hit, not quite working out there.
Wow.
And Breach ult as well coming in. Yeah, it definitely missed that second satchel there from Durka.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what happened. It looked like it just disappeared. Either way, he would have gotten such a deep path.
Revealing area. Right.
Dart cleared instantly towards halls. No early aggression from ZETA. I think we saw that a couple of times before the timeout, but that's something they have moved away from here.
And they are doing a great job dealing with the Sova from Leo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in that last round, the drone was supposed to get a little extra value. Here, the dart, I mean, always there's an early dart spent by Leo somewhere on the map. I do have to say, I think FNATIC is playing this attack side a lot differently than you would see from a team like EG, where a lot more of these arcade pushes are coming in frequently.
Laz has the op. He's going to be able to get away. Do they pursue, though? No, it seems like they're far more interested in getting on the site, making sure it's clear. You see that dart out from Leo, but Laz getting one. Depp trying to hold him things up from up top, and he does. Chronicle has fallen. The spike is currently sitting on the ground, but there is room for it. Boaster has a chance to make a massive play here. If he can find the right timing and create enough space.
Oh, these stuns are brutal for Alfir.
It's impossible to get through. Oh, there's Boaster, but he gets caught. This is another round going in favor of ZETA.
Absolutely, and a shocking commitment from FNATIC on this B hit. This is now 3 rounds in a row that is getting shut down from ZETA. And you're also seeing, as Alfir on the last couple seconds of this round, not going to be able to find that spike and plant it, and you can already see 10 so far away. Yeah. The commitment here from the game plan for FNATIC is to get on the site without using your key power ults and post plants, so you could use them later on.
Sure. Well, that is damage dealt, but ZETA's money should be okay.
That's definitely some value there. Nice pick from Laz again. That's been slow. I was waiting to see whether we were going to get this timeout from FNATIC, and it is coming out. And this is where I think you need to start addressing this. because so often these executes are missing a little bit of a gap or something here. In these last 3 rounds, there's been 3 instances of that. And that's purely because they're not really committing these ults. You've had the Sova Hunter's Fury for quite a while. Boaster, his Brim ult has been back in that last round. Chronicle's ult is up now as well. I'd much rather see, as we see a little streak here from ZETA, a shutdown of any sort of these early holds.
Yeah, just something to break the momentum, sure.
It feels like they're in a space of comfortability. And I also think that FNATIC are thinking ZETA's going to adapt so hard away from, away from tower when we have the Brim ult, when there's a Sova ult, like, you're really focusing on making sure you don't get drone tagged, all that stuff. But ZETA's really not caring too much. They're playing up in tower. They're not worried at all about it. They're not adapting to what is in the hands of FNATIC, and I think that's causing some, mismatch in how Boaster's ideas are working in the server.
Well, maybe the brief conversation with Mini will be enough to, again, break this trend. You see it on the timeline 3 rounds in a row after what was truthfully a dreadful start for ZETA, but they have found some semblance of footing, and they've kept this thing competitive for now. 3 ults on FNATIC's side, and they're key ones at that. We'll see if they invest them here. Heavy bunch towards B, and it's going to be going into Laz, who still has the op. No challenge yet. Surely he hears that Roomba, though, waits for it to go and then re-peeks. There's so many layers to this from FNATIC, though, man. You've got to get past the Roomba. You've got to get past the drone.
I mean, I kind of love what FNATIC have done now that I've seen the plan a couple times here against Laz. It's so often that he has to spend so much to deal with the drone, to deal with Leo.
Yeah.
It's neutering him. Comparatively to what was happening in LCQ, he was a beast on the chamber.
They've just gotten onto the site. I mean, I don't want to say for free because they did invest a lockdown and created some space.
Oh,
Laz is
no.
detained and he's cooked.
Wow.
Oh, what a brutal way to go. They invest the Hunter's Fury too. Crow falls. Depp also takes damage.
I'm curious how they knew he was there. They saw the detain. Must have heard him right before.
Just enough. Durka playing in the smoke. ZETA trying to claw their way back into this round with the 3 guns that remain. And ult 2 in the hands of 10, but can't imagine it's going to be invested here. They have so many layers to this, as we talked about previously, man. Like, it's going to take some massive heroics. And Depp with 20 HP and time just not on his side has to get out.
And there's what I was talking about, though. 3 investments of the ult. Yes, some of them were after the plant had already gone down, but specifically Alfier's lockdown just gets them on that B site. And I think that's a great call again. Remember, I just mentioned how ZETA was not trying to counter what ults. Oh, he was shooting his head under right before. Did he forget about the lockdown?
Could have.
Yeah, that one hurts. And the fact that you got another kill out of this as well is just ridiculous. I mean, that's a setup already where you have the lockdown and then you have the Brim ult. We've seen it so many times. FNATIC has pioneered this where you just instantly Brim ult the space that you don't have with that lockdown.
It's interesting, too. Here, it seemed like FNATIC were ahead of what ZETA was going to try to do. They repositioned Laz with the op, and they guessed correctly.
And as well, getting through halls here. I'm guessing that dart was finally not broken by Leo, and they instantly go into this. But it is surprising to see that in combination with what you just said, them pushing back the chamber on drop already.
Early Rolling Thunder.
Oh,
it seems like, I thought they were going to try to pinch, but Laz just plucks him out of the sky, and he finds a second. That op was quiet for a while, but comes back to life at just the right time.
I'm looking for where the third smoke from FNATIC was, because that's an angle you've got to be worried about. Laz with 3 from it.
10 feeling some of the pressure and having to reposition. The spike is out of reach here. I don't know that FNATIC can recover this.
I mean, you'd have to jump up, drop. Yes, it is Leo. Yes, it is Chronicle. Those 2 players, no matter what happens, you think they have a chance, but this looks very unwinnable, and they won't go for it either. Leo's not even opening the door, not prodding, nothing like that. They're just going to save the weapons for the final round of the half. And they are kind of low money. You have to see Durka load, Boaster, Alfier with the only 1.8 that you'd get.
10 seconds left.
It would have been rough.
gonna clear this box?
Bit of spam.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. 4 for Laz, and as we were talking about the financial implications, that rifle going down.
That was the least important rifle out of the two.
Sure.
Leo had 3.4K, so he could drop one now, where Chronicle wasn't going to be able to drop anyways. But yeah, you're right. I mean, any sort of economical value you get when it's such a, I mean, at the end of this, it could be a close half here. Could end up with a 7-5. Absolutely, you look to moments like that.
Yeah, unexpected too, given how the half started.
And ZETA's gotten FNATIC in a spot where there's no ults online right now. For FNATIC, and you can tell how much they rely on those so frequently.
On the other side of things, Laz is the only one who's close to his. Depp has his online. But again, patience from both sides. Such a delicate game they play.
I think FNATIC actually confused about how to approach the situation, given that 10 was in halls at the beginning, given that they did break that dart. Oh my goodness, the timing.
This is bold too. He hasn't shown here.
Did he just spot
it? That ping looked real.
That was Alpha, you're pinging that too.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a pen. And the op at this point has been fired, so they know where he is. Do they push into him or do they rotate away?
Oh,
they want to go.
Dart combo with the stun too. They got both players on site right now with that. They're going to flood those ZETA. Have to be careful.
Yeah, I don't know that they're ready for, I don't know that they want to flood at this point. FNATIC haven't fully pushed out for them to take this fight. Now FNATIC pounce ahead of what ZETA's trying to do. The defenses from, they're left in shambles. There's nothing left. They just crumble.
Beautiful stuff from FNATIC there. The freeze again. You know, they went outdoor for about 20 seconds before really committing to hitting that site, and the combinations of Yuto were just really nice. Dirk as well getting his ult online. For sure was going to get another one if Alfir didn't pop it. Tap right there in that moment. It's just so nice from this team.
Eight 4 half in favor of FNATIC. We're going to throw it down to the desk for them to break down that first half.
Thank you very much, you guys. Now, Laz, he really came alive towards the end there, but I really want to quickly address a story that he was telling in the Daily Tease we saw this morning about Boaster, his opposite IGL on this match, because Laz said here that he was a little bit desperate and texted Boaster to ask him specifically about some advice on being an IGL. To my surprise, he answered my questions very kindly. I told him, I hold him even in great respect. And Psycho, what a great story this is for them to be able to go up against each other. But you can also see the impact maybe Laz has learned from Boaster and speaking to him about how to IGL.
Absolutely. I mean, what a special moment between these guys. I mean, you know, when you're young, up and coming, even just where's Laz is with ZETA now, you know, like you're trying to claw your way up the global events and improve your placements. And you reach out to somebody like Boaster, who is just larger than life for you, and he actually responds and gives you advice, right? So this is someone who not only he's spoken to and gotten advice from, but someone he's studied constantly, obviously draws a lot of inspiration from, and that should make it a lot easier as an IGL to call against him.
And then playing against someone who is an inspiration, is an idol to you, also adds another element of that. And I think we've seen a lot of the back and forth of the calling from these IGLs thus far. I thought ZETA initially had good adaptations to start to play a lot of those flood retakes on B, but FNATIC turned around and did a great job of actually punishing Laz there. They put a lot of util into making him feel uncomfortable anchoring on this site. We've seen this go back and forth, but FNATIC, no surprises, up at this half, 8-4, and now they go into the second half defense, where this Sova comp is so good to allow you to push forward, take extremity control. So ZETA's going to have to be really careful about how they're holding onto the map control.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Let's get the second half underway. Back to our casters, Doug and Vol.
Thank you so much, Insu. Yeah, an 8-4 half in favor of FNATIC. It was dominant at the beginning, and ZETA started to show signs of life. I think as we prepare for what's ahead of us here, ZETA on attack, they tend to go slow.
Look at this push here against Laz right now. The stun, and that's a long range Sheriff wallbang. Off of the turret contact, and ZETA's gonna try to flood back into this, but you've got Leo inside of sight.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how fast you're going to go. If you're Dev, you're not going to be able to get past him, at least initially. But the second punch of Sugar Zero was enough to clear things out. Numbers in favor of FNATIC. albeit slight, but still there. Woo! Oh, that was well handled. There's 1 HP on the man. 1! And that's all it takes for him to go down. But once again, these kills going back and forth. Chronicle.
He dinked him.
Yeah, he did. He cleans him up. Clean 2K from Chronicle to get FNATIC the round.
He got a collat. Double headshot there. Dinked him through his teammate. What is that?
Not your day.
And FNATIC, I mean, in full control again. When you thought, okay, Sugar Zero coming back through halls, he gets that kill. Alfier's instantly back in the space that they were already controlling. And that was the one thing Zeta needed to do. Once they got that plan off, they needed to regain control of that.
And that is a brutal start for Last to go down that way.
Yeah, they've been, I mean, doing a great job.
One enemy remains.
Unlucky 10.
Unlucky indeed.
Losing the pistol now. That was going to make things incredibly difficult to come back from.
Scanning ahead.
This is a dart for potentially Poster to find something. Maybe an extra push. Maybe the just getting the orb is enough there.
We'll see if we see that one again, because he got pushed off that angle instantly.
Oh yeah, you already had the, must have been a stun or something like that from Dev.
So.
Maybe just some noise for him to back off of.
Or the fault line from Crow. Yeah, there was something that pushed him off the angle for sure. So Zeta get what they want. They keep Boaster back. They get the orb. And it seems like they're going to go hunting for a little bit more.
Just farm up in this case.
Yeah.
Would not be too mad to see this. Although, if they do go for something like that and they continue to explore the map, they're missing an opportunity right now. What we can see, what they can't, is Alfier alone on this B site, and he doesn't really have a denial set up. So they could get the plant down and make this really interesting.
Boaster's close by. He still has 2 smokes, and they're going to push him to spawn. Yeah, I mean, I guess take the fight and see what happens. Lay things out how they may. And it's gone 2 for 2, but Alfier tipping things back in FNATIC's favor.
Enemy remaining.
And he might put the round away by himself. Last left alone. A 1v3 very quickly turns back, but it does not turn back far enough as FNATIC get another.
Have a good eco there from Zeta. I mean, despite things going pretty poor, I'd say, on that initial push through into their spawn, I mean, they're getting 1-for-1 trades. That could have worked out for something. But they lose the spike eventually. They don't really consider how many players are in spawn. And it could have just fallen flat there. They could have not gotten any more kills, and instead they get 3 guns down from FNATIC. And 2 stingers, so not the biggest deal. FNATIC's I mean, the masters of manipulating the economy in situations like this. Light armor all the way down, Bulldogs, Guardians. They could still get a full buy next round, so this bonus is very healthy.
I mean, look at that setup. Yeah, there's no one there, but that would have been a dreadful position to be standing in. You got the fault line you have to deal with, the satchel out from Durka, the dart over the top, and then the flash to clear the second corner.
I mean, now they can just play from the north side, yeah. This is beautiful. And Zeta have no clue that any of that happened as well, so.
That's a very good point.
As soon as you see something, FNATIC's gonna be able to get a good read. I mean, it's not a complete information game from them, right? They still don't know which site they're gonna hit. But you can focus much more on these individual chokes at the A side, and there's only 1 to get into on B.
Yeah, I think even then, you're right. You've eliminated half of the map at this point if you're FNATIC. Northern side, really not a concern. You just invest everything into the southern side, and they're going to find out very soon that it's going to have to be the A southern side if they want to establish some control. So that's exactly where Zeta are headed. You see a little bit of utility from Alfier early on, keeping it back. The orbital strike is early. Do they funnel behind it, or are they even going to be able to get through? Depth's already fallen.
Look at the options it allowed Alfier to play in from drop there instead of actually staying on site. Avoids the orbital strike completely, and is he going to go down, Crow?
Ooh, that was close. He does eventually. It was a bit delayed, but he does fall.
Leo on the flank as well.
Trip though to cover, but given where he's standing right now, it's not going to matter. If he swings out, he's dead. Forget about the trip. He's got the sightline on him.
Enemy remaining.
But they've gotten it to this point. 10 with a massive 2K, and Leo's left alone. Nothing but a Bulldog. 2 shocks and a drone as he upgrades a weapon.
Yeah, he's out. That Molly's going to solidify things. Leo there was not the, the be-all, end-all. He was the guy who was going to allow them to entry into that site by pressuring those players in A main, allow them to cross, allow them to start defusing. And he comes a little slow. Enough where Boaster and the rest of FNATIC think they have to commit regardless of whether Leo's timing is good. So Zeta, good anti-bonus. They get a good eco and then a good anti-bonus. I mean, winning the round here is very nice. And FNATIC in that situation, you actually were looking to maybe save 2 guns. Instead, they only saved 1, so this isn't going to be a completely healthy buy here for them.
Let's take a look at that 2K from 10 once more on your screens as we head into the next round. The Desk was talking about it previously. Before the map started, excuse me, Zeta's attack side is slow. Historically, relative to the field, they tend to play at a slower pace than everyone else. Now we're going to get to see that really play out. Now that they have full guns, now there's closer to equal footing, although the buy from FNATIC, a Stinger and a Bulldog.
Oh, Laz is completely relying on headhunter bullets too. No weapon for him.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of evens the playing field here, because
Yeah,
Chronicle, with that Stinger, like you just mentioned, this is what I was talking about just saving 1 gun. But they do still have the ult advantage. Crow picking up that orb, gets his Rolling Thunder online. You really, I mean, you've seen in the meta, trying to combo that breach ult with something else has been so key.
What's the combo?
There's nothing.
No, there's no combo with it at all, but they continue to go forward.
Another push into spawn gets denied.
Yeah, 10 falling there. It wasn't off of a fault line. He may have been hit by the Rolling Thunder. Either way, he's dead. Alfie are a little bit weak, but has that lockdown. As you see a punch coming in from the southern side too, and Laz is going to have to get all the kills he can while he can, because they're hot to trot behind him. Sugar Zero falling, Depp left alone. The spike was planted, but FNATIC have so much as far as numbers go, and then the nade at his feet. Way too many targets to deal with, none of them found. Durka with 3 and FNATIC with 11.
FNATIC was actually caught off guard there. Durka thought that nade was going to hold that smoke entirely, and he definitely could have got that spray down.
Yeah.
Where Chronicle would have been a couple seconds late to peek that.
I mean, he dealt damage on both. On both Durka and Boaster. Didn't get either, yeah.
But at this point, Doug, I mean, Zeta needed to start chipping into this before FNATIC started getting some of these power ults online. And at this point, that cycle is well in effect.
Yeah.
And you're in the range where they just need 2 more rounds.
Yeah. A valiant attempt there to close out the round, but just not enough. Zeta call a timeout. Down 5-11 in this opener in this best of 3. And FNATIC, they've you know, I really don't want to point to FNATIC on this because I think Zeta have done a couple of things very well, but over a long period of time, FNATIC have just had their number.
The Cypher Cam on stage. Where's the Cypher Cam at? Somebody take this thing down. I mean, I think it's been a major strategical difference here.
Yeah.
For sure. And this is where I think FNATIC has focused a lot on this year. We talk a lot about star power, about this being a super team, and don't get me wrong, those are very clear factors towards their success.
Yeah.
But I think overall the scene has worked towards a place where every team is pushing the strategy so deep, the tactics, specifically on a map like this where there's so, I mean, every single orb is accessible, and there's 4 of them. It makes this ult game so interesting. FNATIC is excelling at that. And on top of that as well, they're able to work without them. In this case, they're able to deal with the protocols from Zeta. Fast execute coming here. Insta-molly up towards tower. We've seen this so many times on the international stage. Just to get Depp a potential pick on Alfier.
But the alarm bots there, and Alfier's got casted. He's tucked behind the wall. He's on the other side of the brim smoke.
Dude, and he knows everything that's going on. This was a fake the entire time.
Yep.
And now they're pinching the 2 players that were actually sending the fake, and they're going to realize real quick what's going on with this plant going down. A good attempt here. But now you see desperation.
I mean, the cost of that fake was so great. They're going to get flawless. I'm really just hoping I don't jinx it at this point. Yeah, all good. Alfier gets 3, FNATIC and another. A Prime Gaming flawless comes through, and it was a cool idea on the other side of it. And you're seeing Zeta reach into their playbook a little bit, draw up something different. But another instance in which it feels like FNATIC is just 2 steps ahead, man.
And again, I talked a little bit about how Zeta's approach has been somewhat readable. I don't want to say the entire thing has been. I especially on that defense half, you saw a lot of FNATIC struggling with the way that they were playing given the situation. But here, right out of the timeout, going for a fake, it's not going to catch this team off guard.
No.
A team that checks, again, over and over. They're just like, okay, has this happened? No. All right, let's go for this.
Right.
Right? the reads are kind of just ingrained within the strat book from FNATIC on the get-go.
Very calm 21-7 from Alfier, by the way, as his team finds himself 1 round away from taking a series lead. You see the trap, Laz is certainly dead.
I mean, again, that's such good prep from FNATIC.
Oh, there's more. Durka. Second satchel connects, and Alfier pinches from the other side. I mean, they were done, unless Deb can pull off an insane, well, it's at an ace just to keep the map alive.
Yeah, 1v5.
He's gotten 2.
And look, FNATIC slowed it down. They don't want to give it to him.
No, I wouldn't either.
I mean, just give it to him for content, no?
I don't think they want to have anything to do with it. Not going to happen. 13-5 in favor of FNATIC. And I mean, really as much as you could possibly ask for. What an opener for a team that's currently pushing to win the Triple Crown for the first time in VALORANT history. To look that clean at the beginning of a tournament. Boy, they just put the world on notice. If they weren't there already, that's a hell of a start.
That's a casual map 1 win here for their opener. And I think something that we've seen actually, oh my goodness, they almost fell off the stage. I think something we've seen from FNATIC is, you know, in Tokyo, they had an insta-berth to playoffs. They had an instant way to fight for that crown. And now here, you know, they have to go through group stage. They have to deal with what everybody else has to deal with. You were kind of wondering, okay, is there, you know, are they going to experience the same thing? You know, the debuff that you have in some of these group stages from some of the best teams in the world.
Sure.
Not at all.
No, not even close. I mean, they showed no signs of being sluggish or anything like that. Boaster almost hits an ace in the second round of the game. I mean, that's when FNATIC is in their best form, is when they're fragging the way that they are, when they look as good individually, mechanically, from a strategical perspective as they do, and they're laughing about it. They're having fun with it.
Absolutely.
That's as bad as it gets.
Oh, and you know we're gonna have fun in the next map too.
Yeah.
Haven with Durka on Jet for the first time since lock-in.
Yeah.
Or you know, an EMEA split. Yeah, exactly. That's the type of thing that I've been waiting for so long. So quite excited to see what comes up next.
It looked rough for ZETA, but maybe, somehow, even in the face of what you were just describing of Durka on Jet, maybe they managed to find their way through that. Maybe they find a way to get us to the 3rd map. We'll find out on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.